Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ben with Eretabe Gardens in Georgia, Zone 7. Today's video is on how to propagate fig cuttings. How to root fig cuttings is what today's video is all about. But this year, I'm introducing something new to my channel. In all my videos, there will be two things taking place. There will be shout out time and there will be trivia time. The trivia time, if you get the questions that are asked in the trivia time, if you get the answers correctly, then in my next video, you will have a shout out spot. But only my subscribers can partake in the trivia time. If you're not my subscriber and you answer the questions right, you will not receive a shout out. This is only for my subscribers. And as my subscriber, please turn on your notification bell so that every time I post new video, you'll be notified, so you can get it, watch the video to the end, and answer the questions. And the next video, you will receive a shout out. This is to help my subscribers so people can find your channel on YouTube to support you. So right now, let me take you guys and show you how to propagate a fig cutting. Few minutes ago, I received this package of fig cuttings that I bought on Figbid. Figbid.com is a website where you go and you bid on different fig cuttings and fig plants. And the person with the highest bid wins that cuttings or plant. Now this variety is called Zafiro. Look at it here. Zafiro is expensive, and the variety is a good variety that people have talked about it. So I decided to bid for it and to root it. So I got two cuttings. So I'm going to root one in water. Now after I receive the cuttings, this is what I did. I put the top in candle wax so it will prevent the top from drying. And if the cutting starts drying, it will affect the whole cutting. So this is the top. This is how you know the top of a cutting. It has a small bud where the new growth will start. Here is another one here. It is from this dark spot here that the new growth will spring out from. This is where the old leaf fell from, and then at the top of that spot is where the new growth will spring from. So this is the bottom. So I'm going to keep this in the fridge. So because of that, I have to put candle wax at the bottom of this so that it will not dry from the bottom or dry from the top. On this one, I put candle wax at the top, but I didn't put candle wax at the bottom. And the reason is because this is the one that I'm going to put in the water. I'm going to root this now in water. Today is 29th of December. I'm going to root this in water, and then come spring, I'm going to root this in the soil outside. I'm going to root it, put it in a container with soil and leave it outside in spring. But since we're in winter, I'm going to root this in water. And why do I want to root this in water? If you look at the body of this cutting, you see it has a lot of spots. You can see all these spots. If you have fig cutting that have spots like this on the body, it is good to root it in water. You can also root it in soil, because this is where the roots will be coming out from. If you root it in water, if you root it in soil. But if you root it in water, you can see the roots growing out of the cutting. So because of that, I want to root this one in the water. So the water is not enough, so I'm going to add more water. You can see that the water is just above this node. Roots will be coming out from this node also. You can see that I pinch off the top there, because that's where the new growth will spring out from. But since it's going to be in the water, I don't want new growth in the water. I want roots. So roots will spring out of this node. But I want the roots. I want a lot of roots. So because of that, I'm going to add more water so that the level of the water will be higher. So this is it. So I'm going to add water in there. So let me show you the new level of the water. You can see this is the new level of the water. So from this spot here down will be full of roots, and then I will transfer it into the soil. So in the next 2-3 weeks, we'll make a review to see the growth. Now if you look at here, you see that? That is where the new growth will spring out from. The new growth. So now you have 2 spots, you see, where new growth will be springing out from. So this is Zafiro, and then we will see in the next 2-3 weeks, I will show you guys an update. Now today is 21st of January. I started this 29th of December. So 3 weeks ago, I started rooting this cutting in water. But look at what is happening. Look at this here. My rooting cutting is producing fruit. That is fruit that you are looking at right there. And that is fruit. And the reason is because Zafiro produced 2 crops, Briba and main crop. So because it's in the water, so there is flow of nutrient in this cutting. And because of that, it's trying to produce a breeder, even though it is still rooting. You can see it has roots here. But it is still growing, but it is growing, or it is producing fruit while it is still rooting. It has not finished rooting. Even the roots are not long yet, and there are no leaves, but it's producing fruit. Now, look at the roots. You see that? That is the root that broke off because I took it out of the water and put it back. And that's why I don't like removing cuttings that have started rooting in water. I don't like taking it out of water, because by the time you put it back, 1 or 2 roots will break, just like those ones. You see them? So what do? What you do is you break off this. See? This is fruit and not leaf. If you don't break it off, it will affect the cutting, because all of the concentration of the cutting will not be to produce leaves. It will be on this fruit in order for the fruit to continue to grow big. But that will affect this cutting at the end, because you won't be able to produce leaves. It won't grow. You won't be able to. It will not root successfully, because all of the concentration is on the fruit. So the best thing is you break it off. 2 days ago, I broke off the fig that was growing there just 2 days ago. I broke off that fig because I said, with the fig, nothing else will grow on this cutting. The leaves will not grow. Why? Because the concentration will be on the fruit, and that will affect the successful rooting of this cutting. That was 2 days ago. Look at what is happening. Just 2 days after breaking off the fig, you can see it here. That was where I broke off that small fig from. After breaking this, look at new growth of leaf. You see? If I did not break off the fruit here, this new growth, which is leaf, will not be producing here, will not be growing out of this node. So you see why, if you are rooting cutting either in water, rooting it with soil, and there is fruit, break off the fruit, because it's going to affect the rooting of that cutting. 2 days ago, I broke off the fruit here, and 2 days after, a new growth here. And this one is not fruit, this one is leaf. You can see the tip right there. Oh, I don't want to break it. You can see the tip, that's leaf and not fruit. So this is the reason you have to break off fruit that is growing on your cutting, so that your cutting can root successfully. So now all the concentration would be on this new growth. That's a leaf that will turn to branch. So that is what you want. You don't want any concentration on fruit right now. You want concentration on growth. And the roots growing longer. You can see some of the roots there are growing longer. You know, they are growing longer because they will no longer be supplying nutrient to the fruit, but they'll be supplying nutrients to the leaf, you know, that will grow and become a branch. So I will keep you guys posted as we continue to observe these cutting. Today is January 29th. 1 month ago, I started rooting this cutting. You can see it. 12/29. And today is 1/29. So 1 month ago, I started rooting this Zafiro cutting in water. 1 month ago. Look at a new growth. And then if you look at the root, look at the root. Even there is a new growth here. You see that? That's a new growth. And if I put it in the soil, it might die or it might continue to grow through the soil, out of the soil. Now, you can see that these roots are not white anymore. They're getting brown. So it's time to put it in the soil. Now, these roots did not grow like the normal roots. They're supposed to be single and grow long. So now that the color is changing from white to brown, it's time to put it in the soil. Because if you leave it for too long, all these roots will become brown and dead. So, and there are still some new roots that are growing out. So there is hope that those ones might grow very long. If you look at this root here, you can see that this root here, I don't know if you can see it, but this root right here is brown. So I'm going to transfer this into this cup. So I have a transparent cup that I'm going to put it in, and then put this cup inside this red cup to give it some dark covering, and also to retain water, because I don't want to water it from the top because of fungus gnats. So I'm going to put water from the bottom so that the roots can take the water from the bottom instead of pouring water from the top, because I don't want fungus gnat everywhere. So, and then because of these roots are not very long, I have to be careful when I'm putting in the soil, because the soil can break off the roots. So this is what I'm going to do. If you look at all the roots here are brown, they're almost dead. So this is the side where I'm going to pour the sand or the soil. You see, from this side, since the soil or since the roots are brown here, they're almost dead. So I'm going to put some soil down first. And then come and pour soil in there, but I'm being careful to pour it only on the side of the roots that are brown, so that if the soil knocks it off, there is no problem, so that the ones on the other side, the roots on the other side, will grow. Okay. 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 And then there will be opportunity for new roots to grow out from the cutting. So I'm being careful because I don't want all the roots to break off from the cutting. Since the roots are not long, they are short roots. That is the disadvantage when the roots are not very long, as it should be. So hopefully there will be new growth of roots from the cutting. So this is it. Okay. Let me pour this soil back in here. Okay. You can see the new growth. Now, while as this cutting was rotting, from here, there was a fig that was growing here. There was a fig. I had to break off the fig from here. I had to break off the fig that was growing on the cutting. And the reason why I cut off the fig off the cutting is because all the concentration of the nutrient will be going into the root, into the fig to develop the fig so the fig can grow. And because of that, there was no new growth here until after I broke off that fig at the top there. 2 days after I broke off the fig, 2 days after, this new growth started. 2 days after I broke off the fig. So this new growth. If that fig was still there won't be no new growth because all the nutrients will be going to the fig, and which will not be good for the cutting because it will affect the growth of the cutting. There won't be no new growth. It will take a while for new growth to develop. So because I cut off the fig, and 2 days after, a new growth started. Okay, so I'm going to put this cup inside the red cup. And then I'm going to pour water there. And then the water will collect at the bottom. See that? Look at that. You see? That is the advantage of having this red cup. If the water is too much, it goes into the red cup and then you can pour it away. You can pour the water away. So now you can see that there is no root. There is no root showing on this cup. No root yet. So the next thing I will do is I'm going to put it under the light, and it will be there for it to produce roots and keep growing. So let's go to the room where I have the light ready. In one of my videos that I did, I think early 2022, I showed this box that I made. This is my heating dome, so to say. I use a big box to create where I can put in my cuttings that I've started rooting, or some that I've not started rooting at all. I bring it here. I have a cover here. You can see that is the cover. Now let me show you the inside. You see, this is the inside. I have a lamp here that gives it light. Now, because it is winter, I can't just sit without rooting nothing. So I only rooted these few ones. Now, I brought them from the other room. I started, I think most of them in a heating dome or in water. And then when they start bringing out roots, I put them in the soil and then I bring them here. Now, this one here is sunrise. These two here are sunrise cuttings. This fig is a new discovery. Sunrise is a new discovery fig, and I bought the cuttings and I started rooting this before I rooted this one. My plan was to root just one cutting, and then in spring I will root this one. But when I saw that this cutting rooted very well, I started rooting the second one to give it an head start. So these two cuttings were in this size of cup. And when I saw the amount of roots that these two had in the small cup, I now transferred it into these bigger cups, and I give them water and fertilizer, liquid soluble fertilizer from the cup, and then the roots take it in. And that is why you can hardly see fungus gnat flying around, because I give them water from below, not from the top here. Because when you keep giving them water from the top, you can see just one or two fungus gnat flying around, but there is no much of it. But when you keep giving them water from the top, that helps fungus gnat to occupy this area. Now, let me show you this cutting. Can you see the top is dried? But let me show you the bottom. See? But look at the bottom. It's wet. And look at the roots. Look at the roots. So I give it from the bottom. See, the bottom is wet, but the top is dried. So that has helped them. You can see these two, the leaves are not that green. It's because I just brought them from the other plastic container that I used as a rooting dome, and these leaves were white. So when I brought them here, because they are now under the light, the colors are changing to dark colors. And that was the same thing I did with this too. Also this, brought it here, and now because of the light, they've changed the leaves. Now here is my spray bottle that I use in giving the bigger cuttings with leaves. I give them fertilizer to help them. Liquid fertilizer. Why do I give them liquid fertilizer? You see, all these cuttings, they've lost most of their nutrients when they were cut. They were dormant. And when fig tree goes dormant, all of the nutrients in the tree goes into the root and stored there till spring, and then the nutrients in the roots will come back up. So these cuttings were cut without much nutrients. So they have little nutrients to root and to produce leaves. But if you don't give them soluble fertilizer after a while, they can die off because the nutrient in those cuttings, they will outuse it. So because of that, I now give them liquid fertilizer. Now, like these ones, I've not started giving these ones liquid fertilizer yet because they still have enough nutrient in them. But very soon, see, like this one here, I will start giving it fertilizer because of, look at the roots. And once your roots start changing color from white to brown, then you want to do something about it. So I'm going to give this one some fertilizer, liquid fertilizer. So now, this is what I'm going to do. So this one here, I'm going to put it here so that it can receive light also, and that will help the root in the soil, because this one was like that before, but now it has roots. So that is what I'm doing now, leaving this here so it can get light and help the root to grow more and also help the growth. See, all of these were like that, but now they're doing well. So I'm trying not to root so many now because it is still winter. This is January 29th, so we still have a long way to go till April before I can bring them out. So that I'm not rooting much now, just few, at least to keep me busy since the garden is not active now. But most of the cuttings will be done in spring. I still have a lot of cuttings that I want to root, but these sunrise cuttings were the only two I bought. But when I saw that this did well, I started rooting this, and look at it. So this sunrise variety is a good one. So I'm happy with the growth so far. So we'll see how Zafiro will do. I still have one more cutting of Zafiro in the fridge, so I will root that one in spring. But so far, now this one here, is Azores Dark. Now, I brought this from the plastic or from the container that I'm using as a rooting doom first. Now, let me see. Now, look at this. There is no growth yet, but look at the roots even coming out from the bottom. Okay, let me look at that. You see, I just brought it also from the container I'm using as a rooting doom in the other room, and look at the roots. So I decided to bring it here so that the light can help it to start producing new growth. So that's what I'm looking for now, is new growth. But so far, so good. So far, so good. So I'm going to give them some of the soluble fertilizer to give the ones that have grown, especially these two, and then I'm going to give that one too to help it. And then when I see more roots, then I will upport it to a bigger cup. So by the time it will be April, when I will be taking them out, there will be a lot of roots in there, and by then the growth will be more than this before April. So already I've set them ahead, so that by the time I bring them out, they can start produce, so that they will produce fruit at the right time. So far, so good with the cuttings. I want to show you how far the Zafiro cutting is doing. Started from water to soil, and look at what Zafiro is doing. If you remember, this was where the fig was growing that I broke off, and then the new growth started from here. And then where I broke off the fig is where this growth is. Look at that. From water to soil. Look at the roots, even coming from the bottom. So now it's time to put it in a bigger container. But I'm still holding on a little bit because the weather is not too warm yet. Yesterday it rained, the weather and the temperature dropped. Today the temperature has dropped, but look at the roots. So from water to soil, and it's doing well. Zafiro. Thank you for watching this video. You can see other cuttings that I'm rooting too, but very soon I'm going to root more because it's almost springtime. Trivia time. First question. What date did I transfer the fig cutting from water to soil? Number 2. What type of eating dome am I rooting my fig cuttings in? Number 3. What was written on my t-shirt? Those are the 3 questions. And the first person to get the answers right, will have a shout out on the next video. But only my subscribers can partake in the trivia time. So turn on your notification bell so that you will receive the notification on time and so that you can partake in the trivia. So the next video, the winner will receive a shout out. Thank you for watching this video. Please like this video. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel and like this video and turn on your notification bell when you subscribe. So every time I upload a new video, you will be notified and so you can partake in the trivia time and win a shout out in my next video. So I see you guys in my next video. Thank you. And God bless you real good.